serve its time, but they have become a lawless bunch, a criminal bunch, and their actions are causing pain so severe that the people have no other obligation than to say to them, it's time for them to leave. I want to tell you, when you elect a government, you expect that government to be lawful. You expect that government to conduct the state of affairs in a way that will bring benefit to you and to the country. Every single decision taken by the Baldwin Spencer government is a decision that has led to further pain and hardship on the people of Antigua and Barbuda. I want to tell you tonight, as individuals get ready for Carnival, that Antigua and Barbuda is about to fall apart. All those features, all those programs, all the care you have gotten from the Labour government, they are all at risk. And tonight I just want to sensitize you to the fact that we have to move now. We can't wait until 2014 to force this government out of power. You would have heard that the Antigua Labour Party left $250 million in Social Security. Every month under the Labour Party, Social Security was able to bank $1 million. Well, I want to tell you that Social Security is totally broke, and the elders among us, those of you who depend on your pension, from month to month, they'll be bouncing your checks, they'll be paying you late, and your pension is no longer secure. I want to tell you something else, that Harold Lovell and the UPP party, having performed the worst in the world for 3 years, having bankrupt Antigua and Barbuda, having been given a program of last resort by the IMF, that they go to IMF crawling and begging for a waiver of conditions so they can get some money so they can pay salaries this month. Without the IMF money, this government cannot pay salaries. So we have Social Security bankrupt, we have the Treasury bankrupt. At Mount St. John's now, no diagnostic machine is working. If you have a sick at Mount St. John, they take them to All Saints Road for all their tests. They have no money to fix the machines. They're short of doctors. So when you're sick, you can't expect your government to provide the resources to protect life. And then you ask yourself, why did they go to Parliament and pass new tax measures? The people already can't buy food. The people already can't pay utility bills. The manager of A.P says that 40% of Antiguan homes are in darkness. They can't pay their utility bills. Baldwin Spencer is turning out the light on Antigua and Barbuda. And then we have the brazenness. We have the barefacedness that Baldwin Spencer could take up our money and he could buy an old rusty plant. He could go to a company that was formed after we got our money. A small company, a company which never built an engine in their lives. And he can proceed to turn his eye as $30 million was stolen from the people of Antigua and Barbuda. Now you would have heard about the money, and you would think that it's the only loss to Antigua and Barbuda. I want to tell you, the question of energy is central to the recovery of this economy. The question of energy is central to the creation of jobs in this economy. Antigua has the highest energy costs in the region. Antigua and Barbuda could have taken the money from China and they could have bought a wind generation plant and you would have had your utility bills cut by 3/4 overnight. A.P now spends $15 million a month buying fuel alone. The income tax brings in less than $50 million. If we shift to renewable energy, oil, we can get 3 times the amount of money they're taxing you on your income and on your special benefits. So the Labour Party says we have the plans and proposals to ease the squeeze, to lift the burden, to reduce the cost of energy. We're not speaking out of turn. We know exactly what we're going to do. I want to tell you, manufacturing cannot happen in Antigua and Barbuda with a high cost of electricity. Manufacturing, tourism, agriculture, they are the 3 main sectors which produce jobs. And if you want jobs in Antigua, we have to revive the offshore sector. We have to bring back manufacturing. We have to expand agriculture. And we have to bring back tourism. Now you will have heard the Prime Minister say that the offshore sector, which the Antigua Labour Party built, is now extinct. We have over 175 young people losing their jobs, and all they have heard from their Prime Minister, you are working in an extinct sector. You would have seen that tourism this season, in the middle of tourism season, people are working 3 days. Well, I want to tell you, if you think the pain has reached its limit, Baldwin Spencer just went and sounded the death knell to the tourism sector. Baldwin Spencer went to Parliament and he introduced a new tax on airline travel of nearly $100. That tax, he says, is to pay for the airport. But his own budget says that the cost of the airport and cost of aviation is $10 million a year. And his own budget says the airport with the existing taxes generate $28 million of revenue every year. He has a surplus of $18 million to service any loans attached to the airport. Why then is Baldwin Spencer trying to raise $70 million from new taxes on the airport, pushing up the cost of travel? And he says, oh, it is only people who travel. But I want to tell you, John McGinley, Harold Lovell, and Baldwin Spencer, with other members of the CARICOM CT organization, we spent millions of dollars lobbying the British when they placed a tax on airline travel, and we argued it was going to destroy our tourism industry. Harold Lovell was chairman, John McGinley took over, and the study which they carried to England proved conclusively that an increase in airline taxes will cause negative growth of 5% in our economy. Their document, their study, they argued for 3 years with the British, and they have now turned around. And the very thing that they paid millions to lobby for, the very thing they paid millions to market against, they have now added on top of that $93 per passenger, which will double the level and the cost of living for tourists coming to Antigua. Now the study is very clear. When the British implemented their tax, Sandals had to pay the full tax and they had to discount their rooms by 40% to get visitors. Barrett did the same thing. In other words, workers in the tourism industry got less money because their points were different. They were working 3 days. Simply put, a tax on airline travel will wipe out the tourism sector because we will get less tourists. They will spend less money, and the hotels will have to lower their costs by over 40% even to attract visitors. Already we have seen a decline of 18% in the European market. Why am I telling you this? Under Baldwin Spencer, Market Street is dead. Under Baldwin Spencer, the offshore sector is dead. Under Baldwin Spencer, public servants can't get paid. And the last thing keeping us our nose above water, tourism. He has launched an attack on tourism with his mad tax policies that will make sure our next season will be a massive disaster. And if you think the pain you're feeling now is too much to bear. If we don't move, I will tell you, Antigua will be a hellhole come the summer and come the next winter season. The question begs itself, if you have a Prime Minister who has no good news, if you have a Prime Minister who can't tell everyone injured is all on you, if you have a Prime Minister who allows some little Chinese man to thief $30 million US, and rather than defend Antigua and Barbuda's money, he is now attacking the opposition party, saying we are unpatriotic. But I want to tell them, somebody must go to jail for this money. All the suffering and pain Antigua people feeling can't be for nothing. We have to make sure no other politician feel they can come to power, rip off the people, destroy the economy, and walk away in gold and sunshine with their millions. They escape from the vote of no confidence in Parliament, but they can run, but they can't hide because the people mind have already recognized that only a change of government will bring relief. Our history is very proud, a very proud history. The Labour Party, every time the nation is threatened, when VC Bird was faced down by Moody Stewart, when sugar became uneconomic and people were hungry, we had a hurricane in the 50s, we had a drought. He moved in and he said, the only thing can save these black people is to sell their passport and lands to white South Africa. And VC Bird told him he went to Bethesda, and he told him to down forward. Those black children, you say, who can't read and write, watch them in the next 2 generations. I will build schools throughout Antigua. I'll introduce tourism. I'll modernize this country. And these black children will become the leaders of a brand new nation. VC Bird didn't stop there. He said, I'm defeating you, I'm beating you. And he forced an election, and he wiped the slave clean. And then he drive Moody Stewart out of his house and move in. He drive Moody Stewart out of his house and he moved in. He said, black Antiguans run this place. We ain't selling nothing to the white South African. Our children have brains. They will find ways of earning their keep. And did they not find ways? We had the 76ers who came and they expanded tourism. In 10 years, we had over 60 hotels built in this country. And when University of Weston said tourism was servitude, they said no. VC Bird said no. It's a competitive export. You guys will learn 10 years down the line what I'm talking about now. He went further. Lester Bird went further into services. He introduced the offshore sector. He introduced the financial sector. And Antigua boomed on the labor. Antigua boomed on the labor. And now they want to tell us, as Antiguans, we must accept this decadence. We must accept this poverty. We must accept this. We must accept this stealing. We must accept an engine which is clearly old. An engine where they can't produce one test result. An engine where they can't produce one iota of evidence of how the money was spent. Breaking all the facets of any kind of technical agreement for a power plant. They want you to accept that you must now say it's okay. But I live in Param, and let me tell you, 5 engines broke them in pieces. The engines are in pieces, and if Baldwin Spencer feel his man, he must take all our journalists up so they can see his 5 new engines. Like when they go buy parts, you gotta get parts off of them. The young engineer, who they had lying for them, they sent him to China to hide out. They freed him out by slip because somebody stole the money. They're now scrambling behind the scene. They're now scrambling behind the scene saying they only made 3 million. And if they made 3 million, we must blame the Chinese for the rest of the money. But I said to them, even Antigua can allow people to steal $30 million US, and they only get 3 million. They should go to jail 3 times over. They dance the first time, they dance the second time, they destroy Antigua the third time, and we are going to clean them out and run them out. I know some of you are a little nervous. Every time you hear a little shaking party get nervous. Let not your heart be troubled. The warriors of labor will bring this home. The warriors of labor will bring this home. Baldwin Spencer must understand that under no circumstance will the Antigua people allow him to retain power. He can change boundaries until he's blind. He can try all kind of tricks until he's blind. The people have felt the pain. They know what we had before. They know we have the men and women who can bring relief. And we say to you, hold strain. Hold strain. Let them not deter you from the focus that we are singly concentrated on one objective. Rescue Antigua from Baldwin Spencer and bring back prosperity to Antigua Barbuda. I want to finally tell you this, that over the next couple of months, the battle will get intense because there are individuals who do not want to lose power at no cost. This battle will not be easy. They have plenty money to share around. They feel they can bribe Antiguan people with Chinese money. They feel they can bribe Antigua people with some kind of doggo money. They now have $3 million to go and share out iPad because they believe all Antiguans are about is a belly full and they're not concerned about their country. We are going to make sure every day we spread the message. We are a part of public education and public sensitization, and you must understand the future of the country depends only on you. You must make the X. You will decide who takes this country over. And I want to say to you, we cannot wait until 2014. We will be calling on you to stand up. When you don't get paid, you must stand up. And you must ball murder. When you're in a hospital and you're sick, and they tell you go All Saints Road and pay $1,800 and $3,000 for simple tests and leave you there to die if you have no money. The children must ball murder on St. John Street. We have to make sure that every time you feel pain, they hear your voice. Every time you feel pain, they must hear your voice. And these policemen who took so long to get their money, these public servants who took so long to get their money, in every other country, when policemen hungry, they walk to the prime minister and say, I want our money. But policemen turn fool in Antigua. I tired the AL crying but they broke. I tired the nurses crying but they broke. Teachers crying but they get broke. It's about time you stand up for your own rights and tell Baldwin Spencer you will not put up with his poor governance, his mad governance, his dunce governance, and his destruction of your country. We have another speaker tonight, so we're going to finish early. But I want to tell you, we are going to continue because we have the documents, we have the evidence, and it's not killing them. We do our research, we have all the documentation. We're not going to threaten people with jail and just talk. We follow every crook, every cranny. We know how to steal the money and who thief the money. And we want to tell them tonight, all of them going to jail. We got to have a Syrian in jail. We got to have a Lebanese in jail. We got to have a great Salaman in jail. The Labour Party is coming to cleanse this place. And we're not taking no prisoners. It is time for us to get back to work in Labour. God bless. Take care. Good night.